Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another video. Here to do heavy rotations for you. It's belated. Didn't do one last week, so sometimes I skip a week and then I always am piled up with stuff. But got some really cool videos coming up. So if you can, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and turn on post notifications. Underneath this video, there's a little bell that you click on, and you can turn those post notifications on so you don't miss any videos that I put out in the future. Just showing you some really cool things I've been listening to here lately, and kind of stories behind them and all that stuff. So, first thing is this Jackson C. Frank record. It is fantastic. Just really good. If you like that singer-songwriter type thing, like Townes Van Zandt and Guy Clark and Bob Dylan and like just those early, really good singer-songwriter albums. This one came out in 1965. Absolutely phenomenal. Jackson C. Frank was one of the absolute best songwriters to ever live, and you just don't hear much about him. He was in a fire when he was like 10 years old. He was in a schoolhouse, and like a bunch of his classmates died in the fire. He made it out, but had like severe burns all over his entire body, suffered from pain and complications for that the rest of his life, and just became this really good songwriter, but just a really sad dude, you know. Had a lot of trouble from that, both physically and, you know, mentally. It's like psychologically. Just trouble from that. And so that really translated over into his songwriting. He put out this record in the UK. So like as he became an adult, he got his settlement from being in the fire. Like he got this huge settlement, which he just totally prodigal sonned it, you know. Blew it. He just went off and traveled around the world and just blew all his money until he came back home and he had nothing. But he lived in the UK for a while, and he was able to put out this record, and it, you know, didn't sell well. There weren't many copies out there. So original of this is like $500 or something. I don't know a lot. And so I'd like to have one if you guys if you guys have ever seen one or know anybody have one. But this is just a really, really good album, a beautiful album. Blues Run the Game is the first song on this record. It is, you've probably heard it. You know, more than likely you've heard it. If you haven't heard it, you're in for a treat. It's a very good song, but there's a lot of really great songs on this record. Just really beautiful, acoustic, singer-songwriter music. So check that out, Jackson C. Frank. This is a guy you don't hear a ton about, but you should. Really good stuff. And I've been trying to get the reissue of that forever. And I don't know if they weren't in print or what, but I'd ordered them a long time ago. They finally came through. So I had a couple in the shop. I don't know if I still do. Anyways, this just released like last week. This Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Way Down in the Rust Bucket. Really good live stuff from 1990. First live performances of Ragged Glory, November 13th, 1990. 19 tracks, 3 blistering sets on 4 LPs. So, but it's got this really cool textured cover. There's a couple different versions. There's like a super duper version, and there's like the regular version. But I've been listening to this like crazy, both at the shop and at home. But you know, it comes in 4 LP sleeves like this. It's got insert all this stuff. But really, I mean, if you guys like that Ragged Glory sound, man, I mean, Neil Young's one of these artists that has so many great eras and different sounds to his music. Like, I absolutely love the, you know, the earliest stuff. I love Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. You know, I love the Harvest stuff. I love all the way to, you know, Harvest Moon stuff. And then, you know, that Ragged Glory, when he started doing like a little bit grungier type of music, is fantastic stuff. But this is really good live stuff. I put it on, and I've had several people like, what is this, you know? Really good stuff. So this box set just came out. You should be able to get it. I've got like 3 copies left at the shop. If you're local, grab one. It's worth it. Very, very good, well put together box set. Really great live material. This is what I've been looking for a really long time. This type of thing, I don't really want to go out online and buy it. I should have grabbed the other one, but there's a band called Sir Lord Baltimore. This is the first one, self-titled. But anyways, really cool record. If you like that early 70s hard and heavy stuff, you've got to hear Sir Lord Baltimore. They have another one called Kingdom Come, which might be a little bit better, if I'm being honest. But this one's very, very, very close second. But just really hard riffs, smoke and guitar solos. The vocals is really, really good. The vocals reminds me of a mixture of Morgan and Bulba's Creation, just like smoldering stuff. If you've never heard of any of these bands, write that down and listen to them all. It's really good stuff. But you guys know me, early 70s hard rock. This is a prime specimen. Very, very, very good record. And it's not that expensive. A lot of you guys complain that I show things that are too expensive. This is like a $40 record, all in. Good, clean copy, 30, 40 bucks, you know. It's just finding them. They're tough to find. So like I said, I mean, all these years I've been looking for it, I've never seen one. And it's not even that rare of a record. It just hadn't come around. So my Kingdom Come, I've had like 3 or 4 of those. This is a little bit more common, I think. To me, they have been. But that's a record you got to find. But this one's a very good one. I'll use this segue to tell you. So recently, I won't go too deep into this, but I had a record and showed it on my channel. Did not want to sell it. Someone offered me an exorbitant amount of money for this record. More money than I ever thought it was worth. Turns out it was worth a lot. But it wasn't worth that much to me. I didn't really need it. And so I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll sell it. And I'm going to splurge on some grails that I've really been wanting. Because I can get like several really, really heavy-hitting grails with this money. So I just did it. So I'm waiting for a couple to arrive in the mail. But I'm going to do another grail video. Either this week or next week. And let me tell you guys, I've got some heavy hitters that I've only seen in my dreams. Some big stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, I've shown this band before. It's called the Farm Band. Really great. This is an amazing record. Just these hippies lived on a farm like a commune. And this is the album to get by them if you can. This will run you anywhere between 75 to 150 bucks, depending on how lucky you get. But just look at that, like, oh man, it's just a trance. But really good psychedelic rock from just this commune. I looked for this record for years. Finally found it. This is old news. I've showed this in another video, but this is a incredible, incredible record. They were on my radar for a really long time. Loved that album. But then after I got that album, I didn't think much about it until I realized there was another one. So I kind of have been looking for another one, and a buddy of mine had one and traded it on some things. This is called Communion. A little bit more country rock, but very, very good record as well. But that's a band to have on your radar, the Farm Band. Definitely check them out if you get a chance. I think you might have to just look it up on YouTube. But that first one, you got to hear that one. That one's really good stuff. So I don't know how deep I'll get into this story, but me and my wife decided we wanted to take the kids somewhere special. I had a day off, and this was maybe a week or so ago. And we decided we wanted to go to this place. It was this waterfall, and it looked awesome in the pictures. Well, I, being the directionally challenged one, put the wrong address into the old GPS. And my wife took a nap in the car. She wakes up and she's like, where are we? And I was like, oh, we're in Columbia. We're almost there. And she's like, Columbia? Why are we in Columbia? And I had driven like 2 hours in the wrong direction.
Huh. I expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
I was thinking the same thing. That John Denver's foolish.
Because the place I thought, it had the same name, but it was a totally different place. They not even have a waterfall. So we had to regroup. And we took the kids out to this park. There was a park right there. and it had like a river. It was really cool. If you're from Columbia, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a lot of fun. We took the kids, we ran around, all that stuff. Got back in the car, ended up driving all the way up to the one that she wanted to go to. Took the next day off. We rented a hotel room and ended up just having a good couple days, just traveling and wandering and having a good time. So anyways, while I was in Columbia, I was like, you know what? I've never been to Papa Jazz, which is a, you know, legendary shop. They've been there for 40 something years. I don't know, forever. And so I just had to stop in for a minute while I was there. I didn't want to leave them in the car any longer than I had to, but I hopped in really quick, started flipping through the new arrivals, and just found this Holiday for Skins, Art Blakey. I love that cover. That is one of my favorite Blue Notes covers. This is an original mono first press, and it was $10. Now this is not a $10 record normally, but the record is kind of thrashed in here. But as you know, Blue Notes, they play pretty well. This one has its moments, but it plays okay. For $10, I was very good on it because that cover, man, is super good. Great record, no regrets. So, and they were really nice. They gave me a free T-shirt. They were so nice, the people in there. Great stuff. Another one. This one I've had for a really long time, like probably maybe 6 months or more. And it's just been at the shop, and I've been listening to it. This is The Roots. You can never get this name right. That's what it's called. I'm not going to even try. But really great stuff. I'm trying to collect all the Roots originals I can. When it comes to hip-hop, Roots are my favorite because it has such a basis in, like, real killer instrumentation. And then the rapping is very good rapping. So, good stuff. But yeah, Roots, I love throwing some Roots on. It's just very chill, rhythmic, just killer stuff. This one came in the shop last week, and I had not ever listened to it before. This is Crazy Horse Loose. You know, I know Crazy Horse because Crazy Horse is Neil Young's backing band sometimes. And so threw this on in the shop, and I was like, man, this is so, I mean, stupid to even say this because obviously so Neil Young-esque. I mean, it's got it's the band. It's the band from a lot of his records. And, you know, if you like that sound, you know, that mid-70s Neil Young sound, I mean, the Crazy Horse albums are really good to pick up. This one's great. It's not an expensive record. I don't know how much these are, maybe like $10. I don't know. But it's a good, clean copy, so I hung on to it. But, you know, while we're talking about Neil Young, this is another one that came in. This is a promo copy. Billy Cobham, A Funky Side of Things. I had to listen to this because, number one, Billy Cobham's good. Number two, had the word funky in it. Okay? Number three, there's an animal cover. I'm listening to it. I have a weakness for that. I don't know why. But if it's got an animal on, I'm going to listen to it. John Schofield on guitar is blazing on this record. This is a $5 record, guys. If you see this record, buy it. It is so freaking good and funky. And it's just smoking hot. I mean, this is one of those cheap heats that you don't have to pay up for, that you're going to find somewhere for $5, and you're going to be a happy guy or girl. Happy International Women's Day. This is another record, not an expensive record, and one that you see everywhere, and it's always like $3 to $5. This one's like a really clean copy. But there's a lot of great records. This is David Crosby. If I could only remember my name. Dave Crosby, you know, he did a lot of drugs. So it's a common side effect, memory loss. But in all seriousness, David Crosby, he's not my favorite member of Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, but he is my least favorite. That being said, don't hurt me for saying that. I mean, it's not that I dislike him. It's just that I like all the rest of them so much more. I mean, Stephen Stills, Manassas, Stephen Stills is incredible. Graham Nash, holy crap. If you find Graham Nash's solo records, please buy them. Neil Young, obviously, we talked about him a lot already. But if you just read the names in this gatefold of people that contributed to this album, Joni Mitchell, Mickey Hart, Jerry Garcia, Phil Lesh, Neil Young, Graham Nash. You know, a lot of good musicians here. But just Grace Slick, hold me, how did I figure that? But this is a fantastic record. The instrumentation is absolutely phenomenal. If you like, there's just like this really good Americana roots type of thing where they have their one foot over in like the country rock and the other foot on the rock and roll. It's a Laurel Canyon, down the highway, smooth sailing stuff. But if you see this record for cheap, which you will, if you don't see it for cheap, you're paying too much. But if you see it for $10 or less, I mean, I most of the time put $5 on this bad boy when I put it out. But really great album. Give it a listen. Good stuff. A couple weeks ago, I think I talked about this in my last video. Somebody brought in a crate of records, and they were just total turd fest. Nothing good, but they were all promos. So I was like, I like. And there was like 3 good records in there. And this is one of them. This is Eddie Fisher and the Next 100 Years. This is a record I've been looking for a while. First time I saw somebody posted a picture of it on Instagram or something, and I was like, that cover is so awesome. I mean, if you see this cover, you're buying it. I don't care if you've been looking for it or not, if you don't even know what it is. But this is a promo. I need to do a video on promos because a lot of people have a lot of questions and it's confusing. But this is a promo copy. This is a really good, it's jazzy at times, funky at times, soulful at times, but very good instrumentation on this. Really good guitar playing. This is a really cool record, and I've been looking for it forever. And to find it like that, like, there's just something about it. You know, if you find a record that is in the dirt somewhere, just like hadn't been loved in a while, you know, might as well be on its way to Goodwill or at Goodwill. It's just something special about getting that record and rescuing it from that. So, but that's what this was. It was just in a bunch of nothing. I basically bought the whole collection for like 3 records, which I do sometimes. And same with this. This actually was not from that same collection. This was from a different one. But this is the Fabulous Johnny Cash. Just, you know, we've all seen this record, but this is a white label promo. Holy moly. Pretty clean copy. I just thought it was super cool, so I swapped it out with my copy at home. But obviously Johnny Cash, a legend. Met him when I was a child. I've told that story multiple times on my channel. I get to the point to where I tell a lot of stories, and a lot of them overlap and repeat, and then people are like, I've heard this story before, shut up. So I'll stop telling them, and then people will like, I'll get new subscribers and stuff, and they won't have heard any of the stories. So go back and watch some of my old videos. There's some good chestnuts in there. Somebody traded this in, nothing special, just a original master recording of Cosmo's Factory. Creedence Clearwater Revival is another band that you can get their records for reasonably cheap, and just, I mean, there's no secret there. Everybody knows CCR, but just such good stuff. Solid stuff. They have been reissuing these Government Mule records. And I am all about it. This is a Deja Voodoo. This one came out like when I was in college, I think. Anyways, around that time. And man, I just like, I cannot say enough good stuff about Government Mule. Warren Haynes, incredible stuff. I saw them live. That was one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to. It was a small room, neighborhood theater if you're local. You know, it was just 500 people max in that place, and I was right there at the front. And it was just so, Warren Haynes' guitar tone is just so epic, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, it's just, but he is phenomenal. And the Government Mule stuff is really good, really jammy stuff. We're gonna talk about something. We're gonna talk about something here. let's talk about my good old friend, the bootleg. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, which you should if you don't, but if you do, you may have seen that I posted a couple bootlegs I had in the shop, and people proceeded to lose their ever-loving mind over it. All sorts of scrutiny, yelling and screaming, all caps, and just losing their mind over me having bootlegs. Like it is just the cardinal sin to have bootlegs. Now, I did say they were bootlegs. It's a long story. I really don't want to get into it. I talked about this enough this week. There were some bad things. There were people that shared it on all sorts of social medias, calling me all sorts of evil names, and I just cried myself to sleep. Anyways, if you know me, you know me. And I ain't trying to fool anybody. I'll tell you it's a bootleg. No big deal. The problem is that a lot of new collectors are getting into record collecting, and they're seeing some records that are not easy to get, like this Danzig. And they're like, oh, wow. And then they buy it, and they don't realize it's a bootleg. And then they get home, and they listen to it, and they're going through adding it to the Discogs or whatever, and they've realized that it's an unofficial copy, and they feel like they got ripped off. Okay. Which I totally understand. Sometimes bootlegs sound bad, but sometimes they sound pretty good. So it really boils down to you're getting a reissue, whether or not it's official. Some of these bootleg companies do a better job than like freaking Four Guys with Beards bullcrap. But there's some turd labels out there. DOL, Four Men with Beards. Those those are terrible labels. They're cheap because they suck. And the bootleg companies are doing better than those guys putting records out, because like this Danzig record sounds fantastic. This is a bootleg. Here's a little pointer. If a record has this on it, it's a circular sticker, and it'll be white or green or red or orange or yellow. All the colors. It could be any of them. And it says this, limited edition colored vinyl in a circle like that. That's a bootleg. All the bootleg companies do that. It's a bootleg. It's a telltale sign. So anyways, we have these, and this is one I cracked open because I'm not going to spring on an original for that price. But a lot of these bootlegs sound pretty good, and this one sounds great. And it's on white vinyl, really cool stuff. Everybody knows they're bootlegs, no big deal. So I think that the issue lies with when people buy them and they don't know they're bootlegs, and they get really upset that they feel like they've been ripped off or whatever. Some of these you're not going to get unless you get a bootleg. Like these Danzigs are freaking sky high expensive. So, and they haven't reissued them, so you got to get a bootleg. It's no big deal. There's the only thing wrong with a bootleg is that they, are called bootleg. It's such a hot topic right now. People get so heated about it. But as I said before, it's just a matter of whether you get a good reissue or a bad reissue, because it's just a reissue. It's just who gets paid on the other end of it. But as far as like, a lot of these come from Italy, and the people that are putting them out they do want to put out, a good product. So that comes to the next one here. This is Pearl Jam PJ20. Impossible to find an original of this. This is a really cool on gray vinyl. Most of the ones I've gotten have a sticker that says gray vinyl, but this one doesn't for some reason. But these just came out, and these sound fantastic. You would not know. Now, granted, this record sounds like crap anyways, because some of the live stuff on here, I don't know why. I'm sure there's some significance to it, but why they would choose those, they just sound bad. So, if you get an audio file pressing of someone farting, it's still going to sound like a fart. So that's the only bad sounding tracks on here. This sounds pretty good, the bootleg. I can't vouch for all bootlegs. Some of them are, sourced from digital, needle drops, and they sound like crap. But so are other records that are reissues that you don't know about, and you buy them and they suck, and that's just the game. So anyways, all that to say about bootlegs. You win some, you lose some. As record store owners, I will say there's this divide between like some collectors and the owners, and they think that the owners are these evil people that are trying to screw them over and sell bootleg, all this stuff. It's not that. I mean, like, people have asked me forever, like, can you get any Danzig? Can you get, Pearl Jam, PJ20 or bootlegs or whatever? And people specifically ask for bootlegs, but they'll ask for Frank Ocean, they'll ask for things you just can't get. I mean, Frank Ocean Blonde originals are $700. You can't get that. So all I'm saying is that don't vilify your record store owners. Sure, some of them are turds, but like me, I'm mainly nice. And I really do genuinely try to look out for the customers. And I mean, it is my complete passion and drive to get stuff that you guys like and you want. I have no interest in hurting anybody or screwing anybody over or misleading anybody. I don't have to do that because people will buy the bootlegs knowing they're bootlegs and they don't care. So I'm not trying to fool anybody. I'm just telling you guys, if you don't like that type of thing, don't buy a bootleg. If you do like that type of thing, buy a bootleg. That sticker is your indicator. A lot of them have it. Some of them don't, but a lot of them do. So anyways, I'm done with talking about bootlegs. Don't at me. Big shout out to Sam, the psych professor over at, if you don't follow Matt Sand's channel, Matt and Sam are top drawer, very good guys. I'll put a link to their videos down there in the description areas. But Sam was at Dumb Records, which is a very good friend of mine. Jeff runs Dumb Records, which they have a YouTube channel too, Dumb Records. And he found this Folkways. He knows that I collect Folkways, so he bought it and he shipped it to me for free because he's such a nice guy. So Sam, I appreciate it. Dumb Records, I appreciate it. Follow both those guys, really good stuff. But I love Folkways stuff. I have a big Folkways collection, so and I'm trying to collect them all. I didn't have that one. So another one. This was Iggy Pop, James Williamson, Kill City. This is a really good color vinyl, green vinyl. Is this on Bomp? No, it's on import. Anyways, this is a cheap record you can get for like $20. And it's just really good. If you like the Stooges, get it, really good Iggy Pop stuff. I've been looking for that just because I love Iggy Pop. So a friend of mine at Cloud City Records had this. This is an original Spanish press of Unknown Pleasures. And I've been wanting an original press of it. I'd like to get a UK or US early press, but this one will do for now. He had bought this guy as a singer-songwriter. He bought his collection, and that was in there. And I was like, hey, man, holla at me. Last thing, Sam, also the guy that bought me the Folkways, he's told me that there's this auction, online auction. It wasn't eBay or anything like that. It was some weird auction site. And they were auctioning off this dude's record collection. There's some really cool stuff on there. I may or may not have screamed and yelled at my phone because it wouldn't put in my bid at the right time and I missed on a really big grail. And I still don't want to talk about it. But I was testing out my, when I first got it, I was like, I'll throw a bid on this lot. And it was a lot of like 8 records. And I think I paid $2 each for them. Because it was some stuff I could sell and a couple things I wanted. But I knew I'd get outbid. I didn't care. I just put $2 on it and kept moving. Well, I didn't get outbid, and I won it. So these were $2 each, and it was like some Paul Butterfield, a couple other like America albums and stuff like that. Some I could sell for $5 or whatever. Paul Butterfield's a little bit more, but I'll end up making money off of it. No big deal. But these two were in there that I actually did want to keep. So this is a promo. Really good stuff. Mike Bloomfield and Al Cooper. This is a cool album, but this is a really good record. It's cheap. It's also featuring Elvin Bishop and Carlos Santana, but it's a very, very good blues rock record. And like I said, you can get them for, $5-10. I've chucked them in the dollar bin when I feel like it sometimes because I'll have a bunch of copies, but, this is a really great record, and it was a promo with the timing strip, so I had to get it. I didn't have to get it. I bid because of that, and I got it. So I'll end up selling the rest of them, make my money back, and then, hang on to this one. But that's a really good one. I've been looking for a good, clean copy. This is very clean, and has the timing strip, so can't complain there. And then this was also in there. This is Mike Bloomfield, Al Cooper, and Steven Stills Super Session. Everybody knows about this record. This is a $3 all day long record, maybe even $1 all day long record. Super easy to get, but just smoking stuff. You know, really good. Mike Bloomfield's underrated guitar player, I think. Very good stuff. So I was very glad to get this record. I don't have a clean copy just because they come and go so often. If there's not something special about them, I'm not going to hang on to them. But it's a promo and it's really clean, so I'll keep it. So those are both cheapies. Really good stuff. But thanks for watching this. Sorry I ranted about the bootlegs. It was just what happened this week. I had a lot of blowback for having that. Thank y'all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram and all that good stuff. We will see you guys next time.